Joining us now, the former quarterback of the BC Lions, feels odd to say that, and new quarterback with the Jacksonville Jaguars, it is Nathan Rourke. Back with Sekeres and Price. Nathan, congratulations. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you guys as well.
What made you decide on Jacksonville?
Yeah, it was a number of different factors. I think that the biggest one is just the opportunity to be able to compete to be the number two. The interest level of the Jaguars from the beginning through this process was always high. They were always high on our list. A lot of people in the building that are supporters and fans of me and want to see me succeed, and I think that's important as well. I think at the end of the day, playing for someone like Doug Peterson is something that's going to really move my football career forward in terms of just learning the game and taking a step as a quarterback. So those are all really exciting things and things that I'm looking forward to.
What do you like about Doug Peterson personally?
I think he's a very high character, high integrity type of person, high class. I went to other places around the league and they were, singing his praises, and I think that's a really good sign when, other people are saying those type of things. And he's got comes from a great network, a big family tree of head coaches in the NFL with, I think, going all the way back to Bill Walsh and, in the Mike Holmgren and Andy Reid and all the way down this way. And so I think that you think about that wealth of football knowledge, and I think the way that he's been perceived with quarterbacks and especially young quarterbacks, the things that he's done with Trevor year to year, his development from year one to year two, all those different things are just huge green flags and things that I'm really looking forward to.
And of course, won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. How
Absolutely.
Much of the Eagles and Nick Foles story, Nathan, won you over on Doug?
Yeah, I mean, it was just the body of work, the whole resume, and just the fact that one of the things I love about that is that that story is that the whole team, not skipping a beat and not really blinking, and they're just moving on with Nick Foles and then obviously going on to win a Super Bowl. And I kind of get the same kind of vibe from the last game that they played against the Chargers is, you're going 27-7, you've thrown 4 picks on offense. You've had a turnover and the team doesn't really panic. They come out in the halftime, they play a really good half together. I think that's a sign of a cohesive locker room, but also a culture that has been clearly built by Doug Peterson and his regime. And I think that's what are all positive things, especially when you hear about all the stories that happened with the regime prior, right? So I think it really testament to that coaching staff and something that I want to be a part of.
Well, work on your hands, right? Philly. You're going to run the Philly special. You may catch some touchdown passes there. When you say give me a chance to compete to be the backup, Nathan, were other teams not willing to do that for you?
Yeah, not all of them. We worked out for 12 teams, and not everyone was as forward as the Jaguars were. To be perfectly honest, I think a lot of times behind the scenes, they're kind of iffy. They got another person in the building that they like a little bit more, who's already under contract. A lot of different things, but I think we were just looking for the opportunity to be number two, to be able to come in and compete and be just one play away from playing. I think you look at this year, there was, I think, 64 different starting quarterbacks this year in the NFL, and 65% of starting quarterbacks went down with an injury. And I just know that if I'm in that position, you have a real good chance of going in and contributing. And that's all I was really looking for. 64
turns out to 2 for every team, right? Understand you wanted to go in and get a chance to compete to be the number 2. Some may look at it and go, oh, but he may never get a chance to compete to be number 1 there with Trevor Lawrence. How much did you look at starting quarterbacks and the ability to maybe start a game in the near future and throughout this process?
Yeah, I think, well, 2 things with that. First of all, I think a lot of the situations that might have seemed obvious to a lot of people maybe weren't as available as they might have thought. I think you have to like the situation, but also they have to like you, right? And so sometimes that just didn't happen. The other thing is that a lot of times I don't think that the opportunity to play right away from the CFL, whether I played another year in the CFL or not, would have ever been available. I just don't see that happening. Right now, the NFL teams are very preoccupied with developing the players they get from the draft, getting veteran quarterbacks in free agency. That always seems to be the key. And I talked to Bo Levi Mitchell in the CFO Awards, and he did a little circuit at one point where he had just come off of Grey Cup wins and an MVP or MOP, and he wasn't even given the opportunity to be a number 1. And I feel like he's done a lot more to this to this point in their career than I had coming out. And so we really look at it as given my age, being 24, being younger than some of the guys that are coming out of the draft, take advantage of that so they can still see me as young and see me as someone that can develop, but having that pro knowledge, pro experience certainly gives me some upside. But the quickest way to be able to be an NFL starter is just to be in the NFL, allow them to see me in that game, getting snaps in the preseason or otherwise. And hopefully that will turn into a number one job at some point. That's still the goal. I just don't think it's as easy as some people might think it is to get there.
In some ways, you're not even changing teams. I don't know if you knew this, little science class here. A jaguar is the same as a BC mountain lion. They are the same species, so you are effectively on the same team. How is your health?
He's got to get teal, though, Blake. He's got to go out and get new colors.
Very different colors. Don't get me into the logo and jerseys. Not a fan, but now you're going to force me to watch. How's your health, Nathan? How's the foot feeling?
Yeah, foot's feeling good. I have surgery to remove the hardware at the end of the month, and so looking forward to doing that. Since the end of the season, it was just kind of managing so that I would be able to do these workouts, and some of them are less than ideal when you're getting on a plane, the foot's getting swollen up and you're going through these workouts and stuff like that. So definitely testing it. So I'm looking forward to really focusing on rehabbing and making sure that I'm 100% when the Jaguars need me.
This has been a reality show for you this last year. Like, do you pinch yourself and think about where things were like 10 months ago in your career? A lot has happened to Nathan Rourke in the last 10 months.
Yeah, I mean, it's been quite the ride. Yeah, and I'm very thankful to the Lions and the Lions fans and the rest of the CFL for giving me that experience. It's been really fun and something that I definitely won't forget. Very, very, very valuable experience, but a lot of learning opportunities. And like I said, I think it's a huge upside to have a guy who's he'll be 25 next year and had 3 years of professional football under his belt. I think that's a big thing, and I'm very thankful for that opportunity.
What will you remember most about your couple years here with the Lions, Nathan?
I think it was super special to be able to play in front of as many friends and family as I did. There was a lot of people. I have a lot of family in BC, and for them to be able to come to as many home games as they were was really, really special. I think with the fans, the way that they showed up this year was really cool. The way that Mr. Doman and his team really promoted and made the games a really fun environment, and you kind of felt there was a different energy from 22 to 20, from 21 to 22, and you can kind of feel that momentum building, and to be a part of that was really special. And then obviously to go to different away stadiums and see the rest of the passionate fans around the league was special as well, and to make fans out of Saskatchewan Rough Rider fans was always fun, and it meant a lot to me to be able to represent Canada in this great Canadian Football League that we have.
And we were talking about it on Friday's show. CFL fans of all colors and stripes rallied behind your story, Nathan, to the point where last week we were still seeing folks in Regina and Montreal going, "Oh, I wish he comes back to our league."
You outran the coverage, though, on that. Like, we will admit, we were a little intoxicated by you because you were Canadian originally. And you kind of outran the coverage and just were like, actually, I'm just a good quarterback. Was that a fuel for you to do that? Did you want to succeed even more because you didn't want to just be the Canadian guy?
I mean, honestly, that wasn't part of it. Mostly, I just wanted to play good football. I just wanted to play football. I wanted to play good football. I wanted to play at a high level, and I think, all that kind of stuff. I think at times it felt a little bit distracting because I just wanted to focus on the team and making sure that we were taking care of what we needed to do on the field. But I think at the same time you're able to have an impact that people will remember, and hopefully you'll see a ripple effect with other Canadians and Canadian quarterbacks down the road. So. I think in hindsight, you look at that and you see it as a good thing, but certainly wasn't the focus week to week.
We, of course, wish you all the best in the NFL, personal and team accolades and a long, lengthy, healthy career. But if it ever came back to looking for a CFL team, would the Lions get first refusal? Would you look at BC first, Nathan?
I think so. I don't see why not. I think I'm pretty sure with the current rules, they would still have my rights. I might be wrong about that, but I might not have a choice on that. But if it was up to me, absolutely, I definitely want to work with Neil McAvoy and play for Mr. Doman's team and play for Coach Campbell and all those different things. Like, I really felt that we had a really good thing going, and it started from the top down, and certainly looking for those ingredients in terms of what a locker room is made up of, and all those different things in the next stage of my career as well. So big things with the Lions there.
On a related note, how's your brother doing?
Yeah, we were following your brother late in the year at Ohio. How's his knee doing?
Yeah,
he's doing well. He's doing well. He's ahead of the schedule. I just had him home. He just left to go back to campus the other day, and he's jumping, and it's kind of scaring me a little bit because he shouldn't be doing that early. Okay. But he went for a long hike the other day, and he's really doing a really good job of getting back. So I'm confident that he'll be back ahead of schedule and be able to tear it up again like he did this year, next year for the Bobcats.
Well, Curtis Rourke, we might have another Rourke quarterback coming here to this league or the NFL as well. We won't limit him. We'll look forward to that story as well. Nathan, you were always marvelous with us, accessible, honest. We thank you for the time, all the time here over the last few years. Wish you the best of luck in Jacksonville. You got a whole country here, I think, that's pulling for you.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate you having me. It's always good to talk.